Hey everybody, it's been a while, but I thought I'd check in, kind of give a little update, and just tell you what I've been up to and how I'm doing. I'm about a month post shoulder surgery. Started physical therapy last week, and so far things are going well. Surgeon said that things are looking good. Physical therapists have said that they're actually I'm farther, or I'm in a better position than they would have expected, and so that feels good. And I've been doing all the exercises that they sent me home with and showing up for my appointments. And hopefully hopefully I can be done with this on the sooner end rather than the later end of the time frame. And but it's looking like I could be cleared to shoulder a whole pack by the spring, really late winter, early spring. So looking forward to that. In the meantime, I've just been doing a lot of walking and really just just around the neighborhood. I can't really go out on the trail. I can't do anything that might need snacks and water for a long term, but can't really just get on the kind of rough trail and risk taking a fall on my shoulder. That would be pretty bad. So just doing my regular walk route from the house and doing more of it. So that's good. Motion's better than no motion. Other than that, I've been working on my book a lot. You follow this Substack, I'm writing a novel as well. So things are going good there. I'm in an editing phase and kind of moving forward with that and some other things kind of related to that. So, but you can follow that topic if you want to know more about that. Besides that, I had a domain name that I've just been sitting on for a long time. It's kind of related to when I used to do kind of side projects for woodworking and stuff like that that made a little money with. But it's just been kind of sitting there for years. I'm also trying a different camera. You can see that it's doing a little focus searching, but uh, yeah. So, but part of that, I had some ideas. Been having a lot of time to do research on gear and trip planning and stuff like that. As I'm kind of pining for the fjords, as they say, wishing I could be out there on the trail. And so, one of those things is with the help of some AI, I won't lie, put together some tools to help me do some of that planning, do some of that research that is pretty time consuming. And I think they turned out well. And so I had this domain name. So I just threw a website up there to kind of house these things in case somebody else thought they might be useful. So I thought, you know what? Let's take a look at them, see what you think, and if you need these specific services, they're available for really anybody. So yeah, let's take a look. So Boxcar Handmade, like I said, that was something I used back when I did woodworking and try to sell some stuff. I had an Etsy store, and that's the tag on my primary Instagram. And I won't go through all the little write up I put on here to kind of fill space and kind of talk about what's going on. But I'd like to take a look at the toolbox, which has a couple things that that I've been having fun with. The first one was this they call the Trail Fuel Planner, and then a tarp kit builder, and then a newer one that's not really backpacking related. We'll take a look at that I called Today's Weather. Again, AI can put this together. Claude built this for me. We did a lot of back and forth on getting it to do what I wanted to do, but I'm pretty happy with it. The Trail Fuel Planner is a backpacking meal planner, and it's pretty fun. You put in a number of days, average miles a day, elevation gain, pack weight and your personal stuff, and then it tells you, estimates how many calories a day you're going to need. You can also override that. I can say that the numbers it gives me, they're more than I'm going to eat in a day. I mean, maybe, I'll test that before I go on my big trip, but it was giving me some crazy numbers at first, and so I had it go and check its math and its formula against other websites that did similar things to this, and it adjusted it, and so now the calorie need matches what you see on other things. And what it does is it puts all this information in there. You go in here and say, how many meals a day do you want to heat up? I say, well, not more than two. And then snacks, which is a big part of it. And so you can put a mix of how many snacks you want, what kind of sweet, savory, and just straight up candy. So uh, that's cool. And then some restrictions you might have, and then just by brand. Some people just don't like certain brands. Some people don't want big Newtons or whatever. Some people are vegetarians, so they don't want beef jerky in the mix, stuff like that. But it also has this item where you can add your own items. Like I've got some DIY things that I've been fooling around with that I really like, and so I'd like to include those. You add that in there, and this is all locally stored, so you can do this on your phone, you can do it on your laptop, and it doesn't go into this tool. It goes into your local storage, and so your custom meals would be in there, and you can export all that so that you could move it from one device to the other if you didn't want to have to re-enter all those things. And once you do that, you hit build my plan, and it kicks out a meal plan for every day. It tells you how much it's going to weigh, so you can have that measuring your pack weight and stuff like that. It gives you your average daily macros, day one, day two, on down. It's a list of snacks you're going to need for the day, and then it gives you a shopping list. Like, here's everything, go get it. And of course, you can, do whatever you want, right? Adjust this, but it gives you something straight up that you could use. And I also put this link here where you can, buy this stuff. Obviously, besides just the grocery store, but like the backpacking meals, even buying direct from the brands, snacks from your local grocery store, stuff like that. Idea is somebody's, new to this, they might not know where to get this stuff. It's got a pretty extensive library of meals and stuff like that to pull from. We went back and forth on making sure that it didn't repeat the same one too many times, in a week. Put some limits on how many times it can show up and things like that. Yeah, I haven't been able to put one together and take it out on a trip and try it, but I will first chance I get. Yeah, this has been pretty fun. The other thing I did was, I'm constantly looking at gear and how to make my kit lighter. And I've got spreadsheet after spreadsheet of what my gear I have is versus, what I could upgrade, really down to how much it cost me per ounce of weight saved, just kind of comparing like where's the best use of my time. One of the things though is for tarps. So I do hammock camping. Got to have a tarp to go over that for the weather. And tarps are tarps for the most part, but hammock tarps tend to be, there's a little different needs than just another tarp. And so it's such kind of a niche hobby, part of the hobby, the hammock camping, that the companies, you really got two. You just got like big box Chinese import brands that, they can be decent stuff, but it's just a kit and it's kind of the entry level stuff. And then you have high end cottage brands that, just offer a lot of stuff, but they're not kits. You got to piece them all together, and there's just a lot to know. So the information's there, but pulling it all together, it is time consuming. So I said, you know what, let's build something that does that. So you can look at just the kits here, pre-made kit. The big one is custom, and there's different shapes. A hex one, and these are all the hex shaped tarps that are in there. So Dutchware is the biggest of these cottage brands, and great stuff. And it shows you, there's the shape of the tarp, and then how many anchor points there are. Gives you the weight, gives you the price. This shows you that it's been confirmed. And then you pick which hardware you want. So it counts the number of stakes you're going to want. And some of these are kits. Some of them are, a lot of them are individuals. So you just pick one. We'll stick with Dutchware stake here. Pre-made guidelines or just bulk line. So I'll do a bulk line. We'll do this 50-foot Dyneema. It's going to tell me, some options. How much line per foot? Do I need these tensioners? So yeah, let's do with the ringworm, and it fixes the quantity and lets me know, like, I'm buying bulk line, so I'm only getting, 50 foot's going to be enough. I need 8 stakes, total weight for 8 of them. And then ridge line, we'll just go with this pre-made Dutchware, and it's got the weight there and the price. And down here, it gives me the full thing. And then, it compares the weight to my reference kit. But you can put in your own kits or save this kit, compare it to up to 3 other ones. These are the kits if you wanted to compare side by side. And again, you'd have to save this kit as something, build another kit, and then you could compare them side by side. I think it's fun. Feel free to go. The other one I put together is different. But it was just kind of something I was thinking about based on some people I know, some things they were kind of struggling with. It was kind of a mental health thing. And so this is just kind of a status check-in app. And there's a lot of these on the market and they do great things. The difference with this one is it's very low stakes. Just kind of track a pattern. And so it's just kind of so you can pick your color palette, and then in the beginning it's going to ask you 4 times a day, where am I right now in this moment? And so I'm here. for midday, and then you come back a few times and do it. And when it picks up a pattern and there's been a positive pattern for a while, it'll drop down to twice a day. And then it asks you to kind of pick an emotion. There's like a list of stressful, frustrated, just a general word to assign to the color as well. And then pattern continues from there, and it clicks to just once a day, pick an emotion, and then you also have the option to write a little almost like journal entry. And this is like all locally stored. It doesn't store in the inside here, just be on your phone or wherever, and you can look at these reports, and you can check them. It'll show you everything, and you can print it out, save it. You can include the comments or not, and by the week, month, or year, and just look back and see how it goes, and different views. And so at the end, you could just see, here's my color scale, and kind of see how it went, and kind of look at it and say, man, why was July so much different than the other ones? And easy to reflect, but it doesn't ask you to do any more than you want to. And like I said, low stakes. That's where I'm at right now. Of course, work and life, and school started back up, so my daughter's in school. Just kind of normal things beyond that. I'm hoping once I get cleared with this, trying to figure out a time in the spring where I could do a week out there and do a trip with my backpack once I'm cleared to do all that. And I'm hoping a route in New Mexico that I put together that I think looks fun. And but we'll see. Wife and I have a trip planned in January already, and so it's kind of like how soon after that can I take another week off work and make sure everything's taken care of. So we'll see how it goes. It's definitely sometime. Kind of depends on when it ends up happening. Targets where I go. The later it is in the year towards summer, then I might find some place that's cool. I'll keep you posted. We'll see. I'm not gonna go week by week on my progress with physical therapy, but good to talk to you, and I hope you're doing great. Talk to you later.